Coming up on Hoosier Sports Night, homecoming is here for the struggling Hoosier football team.
And women's soccer looks to avoid a 4-game skid. This is Hoosier Sports Night.
Hello, and welcome to Hoosier Sports Night. I'm Giselle Marsteller.
And I'm Josie Broyles. Giselle, are you excited for the Michigan-Indiana game this weekend?
Well, honestly, I know I have to go out of town because I'm not sure I can stand to watch another Indiana football game. What about you?
Well, I'm excited and we'll be there.
We love some Hoosier pride. One of the best times of the fall semester is finally here, homecoming. But Indiana football has recently been struggling. IUS-TV sports football reporter Riley Woodall joins us in the studio to break down what's gone wrong for the team. Riley?
Thanks, Giselle. The Hoosiers suffered an embarrassing 35-21 loss to the Nebraska Cornhuskers last Saturday. The biggest problem with Indiana lies in an inconsistent and slow-starting offense, which in turn leads to a defense that just can't keep up. Let's check out the highlights and see what went wrong for the Hoosiers in Nebraska. The second quarter for Indiana was boom or bust. They were either scoring touchdowns or giving up big plays. A block punt by Nebraska's Chris Kolarevic and the scoop and score finish from Malcolm Hartzog put the Cornhuskers back up 7. Indiana just can't get out of their own way with different mistakes on all sides of the ball. 9 minutes to go in the half, Indiana facing a 3rd and 6, and Bazelak forced to throw it away with pressure in his face from Garrett Nelson. And that was the story all night for the Hoosiers. With multiple injuries at the offensive line position and star wide receivers DJ Matthews and Cam Camper being out for the game, Indiana's offense just couldn't get anything going in the second half. Nebraska was able to find the end zone twice, once through the air with Trey Palmer and once on the ground with quarterback Casey Thompson to extend the Cornhuskers' lead to 14. Despite the Hoosiers' defense coming up big with 2 turnovers in the second half, the lack of production from the offense gave Nebraska the win. Indiana drops to 3-2 on the year, and Nebraska improves to 2-3. Indiana is on a 2-game losing streak heading into their biggest challenge yet, hosting number 4 Michigan for homecoming on Saturday. The biggest question is, how are the Hoosiers going to fix a struggling offense and prevent defensive breakdowns at the same time? Our Blake Spillers has the preview on the matchup with the Wolverines this weekend.
Last weekend at Nebraska, IU had too many mistakes and gave up too many big plays, resulting in a 35-21 loss. But with Michigan coming into Bloomington this weekend, they have to remain focused.
The fourth quarter execution it's a practice. It's the attention to detail when your mind is tempted to wander in a meeting or in a walkthrough and you're not the one in and you're staying off to the side and you're getting a mental rep. It's being able to be disciplined enough and making sure we're holding those guys. And we take a lot of pride in our walkthroughs and how attentive to detail we are. But obviously it's got to continue because when you're not getting the product you want on game day, you got to make changes, which we continue to focus on the things we need to do to make that better. And that's what we're going to do. We just stay the course and continue to rep it and make sure the guys are in there that are ready to play and can help us be successful.
With IU's toughest opponent coming to town this weekend, IU will have to find ways to slow down a Michigan offense that has been efficient all season long, scoring 45 points per game.
A very effective and efficient running game. Coach Harbaugh has been known for that for a long time. So you see that right away. You see effective and efficient quarterback play, right? Just in who McCarthy is and how they ask him to operate, and then you see effective and efficient tight end play, effective and efficient wide receiver play, right? They don't create negatives for themselves. They don't put themselves in bad spots offensively.
The IU offense will have to put up big numbers this weekend in order to have a chance to win. And for this offense, it comes down to a fast pace.
We got to get back to, being basic, doing what we do well, going fast, not letting the defense get lined up, just doing what we do. Space, pace, race is our DNA. We just got to get back to that. And I think if we all believe that, and then it comes down to executing it, then we'll, be one of the best offenses in the Big Ten if we can do that.
The Hoosiers will play this Saturday at noon, facing off against the best opponent yet, Michigan. From Bloomington, Blake Spillers, IUS TV Sports.
Moving to a different kind of football, last night Indiana men's soccer returned home from a tough draw at Michigan to face in-state rival Notre Dame. Our Amanda Foster has more from Bill Armstrong Stadium.
After an uncharacteristic offensive performance in Sunday's 1-1 draw with Michigan, Indiana men's soccer bounced back for a 1-0 win over in-state rival Notre Dame Wednesday night. The lone goal came courtesy of a first-half penalty kick from Ryan Wittenbrink for his team-leading 5th of the season.
It's kind of team has confidence in me to take them. So yeah, just all a confidence thing. I know everyone has my back. So
Heading into the second half, all Indiana had to do was hold on. Notre Dame failed to even have a shot on goal, and Indiana's confidence only increased as time ran down.
It was a game that maybe we weren't going to get a lot of chances, and that's okay. You got to win those. This was a good game to win in this way because we haven't had this type of game. So I think you kind of bank it as like kind of a methodical win. Did what you needed to do.
Tonight's starting lineup saw the return of defender Daniel Muni and goalie Brian Pratt, both back from injuries. Both played the full 90 minutes and contributed to a strong Hoosier defensive performance.
obviously it's awesome to have Muni back. He's the best defender in the country. I don't think it's particularly close. And yeah, I mean, shutouts huge. We haven't had a shutout in a while, and hopefully that can be the start of a little shutout streak, or it's obviously just conceding as little as we can.
It felt pretty good to be back at Bill Armstrong. It's been a minute. Yeah, it just felt good to get back with my family out there.
Indiana's offense was also stronger than in previous games, finishing with 12 shots and 6 shots on goal. The Fighting Irish only had 9 shots and 1 shot on goal. As the season goes on, any wins the Hoosiers get will be crucial towards their standings in the Big Ten.
It's all focused on the next game. You can only take them one by one, obviously, so all the focus is just 3 points on the next one.
For IUS TV Sports, I'm Amanda Foster.
The Hoosiers are on the road again this Sunday for more Big Ten action against Rutgers. Follow along with Kara Adams, Amanda Foster, and Aiden Mattel for more.
Indiana women's soccer dropped 2 more Big Ten matches this week, making their record 2, 4, and 6. Our women's soccer beat reporter, Josie Broyles, has the scoop.
Hoosiers just suffered their second loss of the week against the Nebraska Cornhuskers 2-0.
But again, a loss and then zeros on the board is a tough one to swallow and humbling, to be honest.
Contrary to Thursday night's game against Ohio State, the Hoosiers played a much more aggressive and offensive game with many shots on goal that just didn't go their way.
Credit to the team. I thought especially second half we responded well and got a little bit of momentum and obviously some good chances. So.
Although there were no goals scored this weekend, freshmen Natasha Kim and Sarah Serta continue to prove their ability to stay aggressive on the ball and take chances.
I thought Sarah had a little spark. I thought Izzy Schmidt came in, did a really good job. I think Natasha Kim has proven all season. So.
Going into a week off, the Hoosiers look to rest up and gain confidence in all aspects of their game.
Rest up a little bit, we kind of beat up a little bit, and then we got to figure some things out and build some confidence.
The Hoosiers travel to New Jersey next Sunday on October 9th to play Rutgers at 3 p.m. From Bill Armstrong Stadium, I'm Josie Broyles, IUS TV Sports.
Indiana will play Rutgers this Sunday at 3 p.m. Make sure to follow along with our beat reporters Josie Broyles and Kelsey Dennehy for more women's soccer coverage.
Coming up after the break, we crown this week's Hoosier Highlight Athlete of the Week.
And we have lots more to cover, including volleyball, cross country, and more. You're watching Hoosier Sports Night.
Welcome back to Hoosier Sports Night.
Joining us in the studio to present the Athlete of the Week is IUS TV sports reporter Ryan Costello. Ryan?
Thanks, Giselle and Josie. This week's IUS TV Sports Hoosier Highlight Athlete of the Week is none other than sophomore Indiana volleyball setter Cameron Hayworth. Hayworth has shown the leader she can be so far this season. She has helped the Hoosiers almost match their win total from last season. And Hayworth played in every match last year, but she has stepped up her play to another level by coming up clutch in some of the Hoosiers' biggest games to this point. In Indiana's 4 conference games, she has tallied 2 double-doubles. The first was a 5-set victory against Maryland, where she had 48 assists and 15 digs. Her second came in the Hoosiers' tough 4-set loss to number 6 Ohio State this past Saturday, where she had 25 assists and 15 digs. Aside from being one of the most dynamic players in the Big Ten, Hayworth is also a Hoosier for good athlete. She and Indiana women's soccer sophomore forward Jordan Levy recently represented them at the Habitat for Humanity of Monroe County Plus build at the end of September. That's all for this week's Hoosier Highlight. Giselle, back to you.
Thanks, Ryan. The Indiana women's volleyball team looked to bounce back after a loss to number 6 Ohio State as they faced off against number 7 Wisconsin last night at Wilkinson Hall. Our Michael Livingston has more from the match.
The Indiana Hoosiers hosted the defending national champions and 7th-ranked Wisconsin Badgers. Ashley Zuloff stepped into the starting middle blocker role and found her stride in a new position.
I have a girl who's played outside, playing middle, and I asked her before the match, I said, when's the last time, have you ever played middle? And she said, yeah, when I was 12. So I was like, great, you just channel your inner 12-year-old. And so I was really proud that she adjusted really well. That's Ashley Zuloff.
Indiana struggled with the blocks in Wisconsin as the Badgers ended with 13 blocks on the night.
Despite the Badgers' defense, the Hoosiers' offense kept them in the game.
The service line tonight brought both huge aces and costly errors on the Hoosiers' side. Junior Gray Gosnell has stepped into a huge role both on and off the court.
Yeah, Gray is fearless, and it's great when she brings that when she's not on the starting side because we know she's going to bring just fire and swing for the fences.
Maddie Sayers continues to be the rock for the Indiana offense, posting 10 kills on the night.
That's a great, yeah, she's been our rock.
Although losing in 3 sets, the Hoosiers put up a fight and battled throughout the match.
From Wilkinson Hall, I'm Michael Livingston for IUS TV Sports.
Next up for the volleyball team is a trip to Iowa on Saturday. Follow along with Michael Livingston, Spencer Hoffman, Gabe Fenster, and Andy Manzer for all of your IU volleyball updates.
The Hoosier cross-country teams traveled to Lehigh University last Friday to compete in the 48th annual Paul Short Invite. The men's team kicked things off with an 11th place finish out of 46 participating schools in the 8K College Gold Race. Gabriel Sanchez was the top Hoosier finisher with a time of 23:32, placing 36th out of 428 total runners. Camden Marshall and Jake Gebhardt rounded out the men's top 3. The women's team continued the day with the 6K College Gold Race, finishing 8th out of 47 schools. Sarah Schmidt finished 14th out of 427 runners with a time of 19:57. Mariah Worley placed 36th and Jenna Barker placed 64th. In the women's 6K open race, Tori Schmidt and Audrey Mendries placed 11th and 12th, respectively, out of 314 runners. Of the 23 total racing Hoosiers participating, 20 of them set personal bests in their respective races. The teams are back in action next Friday in Madison, Wisconsin for the Nutty Comb Invite.
The women's golf team witnessed a special performance last weekend as redshirt senior Alexis Florio broke not 1, but 2 records at the Eddie Odom Invitational in Virginia Beach. The Columbia transfer broke the record for the lowest round in IU women's golf history with a score of 64 in the final round and the lowest overall score in a 3-round tournament with a 205. Her final round vaulted her into a 3rd-place finish and her second top 10 finish in as many events. Senior Valerie Clancy improved on her first tournament with an overall score of +4 to finish tied for 14th in the field. Next up for the women's golf team is the Alley Invitational at the Old Waverly Golf Club hosted by Mississippi State in 2 weeks.
The men's tennis team competed in the Spartan Invite at Michigan State last weekend. In singles, Nasanth Bazavareddy won 3 out of 4 matches, including a big-time performance defeating Benjamin George of WMU. Freshman Sarah Landau won 2 out of 3 matches with a big win over Brogan Pierce of MSU in straight sets. Junior Jagger Saylor also won 2 out of his 4 matches. In doubles, where Landau and Bazavaretti won a nail-biter over MSU's Anthony Perro and Reed Crocker 7-6. Overall, the Hoosiers won 6 out of 9 doubles matches at the Invite. The Hoosiers hope to continue their success in the ongoing ITA All-American Championships in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
On Sunday, the IU field hockey team fell to 8-5 after losing 4-0 to the number 6 ranked Penn State Nittany Lions at Deborah Tobias Field in Bloomington. The Hoosiers went down 2-0 in the first 8 minutes after a penalty stroke goal from Mackenzie Alessi less than 2 minutes in, and another goal by Sophia Gladier. Gladier finished with a hat trick, scoring her second in the third and another in the fourth. The Hoosiers were outshot 15-8, but a bright point was 3 great saves made by Arabella Loveridge. The team will travel to College Park tomorrow to take on the number 2 ranked Maryland Terrapins.
And that's our show for the week. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at IUSTV Sports to keep up with all the latest in IU athletics. For our production crew behind us, I'm Giselle Marsteller.
And I'm Josie Broyles. We'll see you next week.